Alright, peace fam, what's good? It's your boy God Science up in this piece with another video. This one is the music producers that inspired me growing up, that inspired me to make music, to be a music producer. And thank you guys for checking out the first two. That was Earth, Wind and Fire, Maurice White, and The RZA. Now this one is Marley Marl. Now, this is not in any particular order because we know Marley Marl comes before, the RZA. But Marley Marl is hip hop royalty. Period. I remember the first time that I actually knew about hip hop from my cousin. My cousin Edie. She actually got me and my brother Jaro. Shout out to my brother Jaro, man. Um, it was I think it was a Mr. Magic or a WBLS tape, or something like that, out of New York, and that was like the first taste that I got of hip hop. And to all you youngins out there, if you don't, I have seen hip hop born and go through the changes that it went through. So I can't really explain to you the first time I heard that music, but the first time I heard hip hop, it was like fucking perfection. I was like, what the hell is this? Marley Marl. I actually got introduced to Marley Marl through. The first song I probably heard of Marley Marl was The Bridge. I'm not sure on that, or he probably produced another song that I didn't know he produced. But The Bridge, I think a lot of people know The Bridge by MC Shan. Marley Marl was responsible for a lot of artists coming out of that era. Big Daddy Kane, Biz Markie, MC Shan. You know what I'm saying? It goes on. Craig G. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And I think he can be credited as the first person to ever sample. All right. And of course, we know that changed the face of hip hop. Sampling, which is like the essence of hip hop, taking a piece of that song, breaking it down, and creating a whole new different song from that one piece of music. Now, I know a lot of musicians out there, they don't like sampling. A lot of people think it's stealing. They think it's not being creative sampling. And all I could say is that you're dead wrong. If you don't believe sampling is an art, try it. Try making a damn hit song from a sample. All right. I think guys like Kanye West have very proven the lengths just blaze. The length and the length and the depth you can go with sampling. All right. Now Marley Marl, he did a lot of projects. Marley Marl in Control Volume. That's probably the first album that I ever got that really introduced me to who Marley Marl was. I mean, on that you had Dropping Science, The Symphony, which is a damn hip hop classic. All right. From there, he did production for Biz Markie. He did Kane. Probably I know Kane first album. He did the majority of it. When Big Daddy Kane dropped this a Big Daddy thing. I think Easy Mo B was more of the producer, but I know Marley Marl did that first album, Raw. I Get Raw. I mean, that's a fucking hip hop classic right there. This brother is freaking hip hop royalty, man. All right, the music, he's responsible for resurrecting people careers, like LL Cool J, for instance. One of the greatest albums of all time for me, one of my favorite album from LL Cool J, and I think this is when Marley Marl hit his, like, I call it the glow when the producer can't do no wrong and everything he fucking touch is freaking hits. And Mama Said Knock You Out, that album I still play. I actually was playing it a couple of days ago cleaning my car out. Marley Marl, when he did Mama Said Knock You Out, that album is ridiculous. And he was You Jingling Baby remix. I mean, talk about inspiration. All right, this brother, he really was like the first producer to be like in the front of the camera. All right, like the producer, usually producers like Bobcat, guys like that used to be in the background most of the time. Marley Marl, he was kind of in the background, but then he was making a producer bigger than like being like a MC, giving him, building that brand as a producer. And that album was ridiculous. Like I said, that's a hip hop classic right there. I mean, I could go on and on with the albums and the careers that this brother has touched. Lords in the Underground. The first album of Lords in the Underground. I mean, Here Come the Lords, freaking hip hop classic, man. And Marley Marl was responsible for that, for the majority of that production. All right, the things that he did with with sampling and it's no words. Like I said, he's if it wasn't for Marley Marl, there won't be any DJ premieres, any large professors. We could go on and on and on and on. I mean, this is just the beginning. There's so much producers that was responsible for like groundbreaking things in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But Marley Marl was definitely one of those dudes that that changed the face of hip hop, especially with sampling. Now, back then, the laws for sampling was totally different. You know what I'm saying? Now, we just seen a couple years ago the case that happened with Pharrell and Robin Thicke doing that song Blurred Lines, and we see how much money they got sued by Marvin Gaye's family. You know what I'm saying? Now, Pharrell claimed that he didn't even sample from it. It sounds like it. It's like a groove. That's to tell you, how different it is, man. Now, you got to be careful sampling. It wasn't like back in the days where you could sample. It didn't really have those type of the sampling laws, which is like now, which is crazy. I mean, a lot of people don't sample because they can't afford it. You got guys like Kanye West, that could sample, you know what I'm saying, because they could afford to pay it, you know what I'm saying? So I think the artists that you're sampling from should get some money from it. Is their music, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's going overboard with that shit is ridiculous, and I don't even understand why some artists won't let other rap artists sample their music, because you actually bringing those artists that you sampling alive. You bringing them to the light of a whole new different generation. I mean, you can't tell me Dr. Dre didn't boost sales for fucking Parliament when he dropped the Chronic. I mean, it was George Clinton samples all over that shit. And I know when that album came out, it had me, wanting to know who's Parliament, who's Parliament Funkadelic, and I went you know, back into times, and I got all their albums and started listening to it. I wasn't gonna listen to it if it wasn't for Dr. Dre sampling those albums. So I think sampling, you know what I'm saying, played a both part. It was good for both sides of it, for the artists that you're sampling from and from the rapper. You know what I'm saying? The artist. But Marley Marl was responsible for sampling. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I think he was one of the first persons to ever sample hip hop. I mean, he was even responsible for some of Eric B. and Rakim first album. You know what I'm saying? He was the person to go to. You know what I'm saying? And back then, music equipment wasn't like now. You could download FL Studios, a pirate thing of reasons. Anybody could get access to making music now, but back then the equipments was freaking expensive. Freaking SPs, the Drumulator, a lot of people use that, the Mirage, the Sonic Mirage, all these the Akai S950, I think. I'm not sure what type of equipment that Marley was using. I know he was using the TR-808. A lot of the majority of artists back then was using the TR-808. But other than that, man, Marley Marl, man, hip hop royalty, one of the producers that inspired me to become a music producer. I was fascinated by the lyrics and Big Daddy Kane, Biz Markie, but the music is what drew me in. Like, how did he do that? How did he chop that? How did he put that piece there? So yeah, man, I ain't gonna keep it that long. Marley Marl, respect to you, bro. You hip hop royalty. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for giving us all those great music. He's still making great music. He actually had a song on Raycon's Built for Cuban Links too. And of course it was Butters, man. Flames. You know what I'm saying? That's Marley Marl, man. So that's it for this episode. I'm gonna have some more. I ain't touched the producers, all the producers, man, that inspired me. So there's a lot more videos to come. But thank you guys for watching those. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. For leaving your comments, for liking it. If you like this, like it. If you don't. You know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. I'm gonna be up with some more music. So and you youngsters out there, if you haven't heard of Marley Marl before, go back and listen to his music. Guaranteed that you're gonna be inspired, man. All right, y'all take care and y'all stay blessed up and safe. Peace.